Hello everyone and welcome to Frankenmuth. This is, despite sounding like a German name and a German map, it's actually in North America. We are going to play this on start from scratch, 500,000. We're not starting with the starting farm, we've got no loan, and we're going to be on normal difficulty. After this, I am not going to be talking in real time anymore because this is going to be done time-lapse, because that way I can get more done, and it also makes it easier for me because I'm still struggling with internet. So I'm going to get the game booted up now. Okay, so what we need to do is try and find a field, but the idea is to try and find a field that's got something harvestable in it, do a contract so that we can actually get the harvest paid for, as in somebody else pays us to do it. So we've skipped forward a little bit and now we've got a contract available. I did do a little cutting here because my driving was atrocious. The driving here is not much better, which is why there's a little bit that I have to cut out in a second, because as soon as I get to the field I realise there's not much room to actually manoeuvre, so I end up making a real mess and slamming into some cars. I'm struggling a little bit on this map with the traffic, I have to be honest. So we've got the steering assist set up, so now it's just time to, crack on and get this canola harvested. This field is quite big, so what I'm thinking of doing is only putting a crop in half the field, and then in the other half of the field we will use it for animals. That's what I think would be a good way of doing this. My first thoughts are, let's just grow grass, because with grass I can make silage and we can make a good amount of money fairly quickly. But a field this size of grass, I will make far too much silage and it'll get really boring. We're going to pick up contracts for other farmers because we're going to need the cash injection from doing jobs for the other farmers. Also means a bit more variety with the tools we use and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to have to do something on this field once we've bought it. Spoiler alert, we do buy it. That's the whole point. That was why I was looking at particular fields and particular harvest contracts. This truck, I'm not a big fan of the truck actually. The trailer, very, very helpful. However, it turns out it can't take a full load because I have got the weight limit setting turned on. I always put that on. I just like the extra realism that goes with it, although I'm sure someone will tell me it's not realistic. I'm pretty sure though there are weight limits on what trucks can carry on the road, as well as what the weight limit that the 3-point hitch on a tractor can take and things like that as well. I did notice as well, I changed the draw distance on the game to 500%, and when I did that my FPS started dropping. It's normally at 60 and every now and again I get a tiny blip to 59, but I've had to check it a few times during this recording because it seemed to be stuttering a bit, and it's getting down to about 54 at some points. The good thing is though, I know exactly what caused it, so for next time I will do some playing around beforehand. I'll try like 450, see if 450 makes it better. Still missing the power tools mod. I know we've got one power tools mod, but it's not got everything in there that I want. For example, being able to set the field of view. Oh, I love the one in FS25. The power tools in there. I can just quickly go and change the field of view, hide the HUD, everything. The one that's available on here, I don't find it as intuitive. It's a bit, I don't know, maybe I'm just too spoiled by the FS22 one, which is fantastic. So to change the field of view on here, I am actually still having to use the console commands, which is a bit of a pain. The sound in this also went a little bit awry. I didn't notice, I did the recording in 2 bits, because when I finally realised there was something wrong with the sound, it was a bit too late. So I had to stop the recording and start again. I don't know why it wasn't picking up the game sound at all. Turns out it was picking it up, it was so low it wasn't registering on the sound meter in OBS. So I jacked the game sound up again after that, and it seems to be better in the second half of this recording. But then to keep the levels, I've had to still keep it down. I will do better for next time, promise. So yeah, the canola's yielding well. We are going to get some extra crop off of this, but that's not really the point. The point is the contract payment that we get for the job, which is about 23,000, I think. That 23,000 is better than if we had to lease the harvester ourselves. Obviously, if we bought the field, then leased a harvester and a trailer and a tractor, it would have cost us more, but we'd get to keep all of the canola. This way, we're giving away almost all of the canola, but we don't have those overhead costs. So we get the field cleared, which is great. Yeah, there's something weird with steering assist on this. It's not showing the lines when you're all the way at the bottom of the field. It's a bit weird. You can see the lines right at the edge when you're at the top of the field, where we're heading to now, but at the bottom, they seem to not start at the edge. It's very, very strange. I noticed it, and that's why I was having to bring up the steering assist just then, because I couldn't work out why it was behaving like that. But all is going well. So as I said, I'm thinking grass in part of this field, and then gravel another part of it. But I'm not going to gravel straight away. Because first of all, I think I want to see how much grass we get from a grass field, and we aren't flush with money, so we can't afford to go and buy a bunch of animals straight away anyway, so that there's not much sense in graveling a whole area. I'm going to need to put a silage pit in. That's fairly obvious if we want to do silage, and then the animals will need some space as well. So I'm going to do about half the field is going to be grass. I will do that at the very beginning. And then if we want to make that grass area bigger or smaller, we can do later on, once we've started placing some placeables like animals and production and things like that. There's actually quite a lot of production on this map built in that we can buy, so we don't have to go placing productions unless we really want to, because there's a cool mod that's come out or something like that. Now, just there where there was a little bit of a longer pause when I was dropping off the canola, that's the split between the two parts of the episode that I recorded. So we're now on the bit with slightly better sound. I say slightly better, I still don't think it's fantastic. If it was really high, you'd actually hear it coming through the microphone right now, because of the way I'm recording the audio on this. This way of doing the audio, it's the first time I've ever done this. I'm not really sure how it's going to go. It feels like a lot of rambling. It also feels like I'm talking very fast. When I was recording, I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about. And I am doing the audio straight after, but at the same time I also, because I wasn't doing the sound live as I was recording, I was focusing on the video, also talking to people on my phone, kind of in a daydream at some point, so I wasn't completely I wasn't in a recording state of mind, if that makes any sense. But I think we'll see how this goes. We'll see what people think. I know normally people who do time-lapse videos, they do it with subtitles. I thought I'd try it this way. As I said, this is going to be better for me for my internet. The video is only 16 minutes long, about an hour and a half of recording. Some of it was dead space, where I was messing with game settings and things like that. But it's about an hour and a half of recording turned into 16 minutes. There's a couple of bits cut out, dead space, and bits that just weren't useful. And then, of course, a few... Oh, I've lost my train of thought completely. Halfway through talking, I forgot what I was talking about. No clue. Absolutely no clue. So, one thing I was thinking when I was downloading this map is there's Calmsden, of course. There's actually been a new one released today, which is an absolutely enormous map. There's also the other map. Oh yeah, that was something. I'll come back to that in a second about the maps. I still cannot get the load and deliver, or even just the deliver option for the AI worker to work. I always end up having to use set destination, and when it gets there I tab over and then I manually unload, and then I set destination to come back. I just can't get it to work. I don't know why. If anybody else is struggling, or if somebody is... You don't have to be a lot more intelligent, you just have to be marginally more intelligent than me to work out what's going wrong, because it seems I've just lost all brain cells and I can't make that AI function work. Anyway, maps. I don't normally do North American maps because I find the fields are so big. I had a bit of a disaster with the one from Lancy Boy that I was doing for a while, where something went wrong and all the save got deleted. That was a nightmare. But I realised when I was doing that map, that series, there were some fields where I was having to use my harvester and at least 2 other harvesters and get them all running at the same time just to get a field done within 6 hours real time. I thought, it's just too much. That's why European maps tend to be a little bit better, because the fields are smaller, so we can get them done. But if we're doing this as the kind of time-lapse type thing, then it's maybe not so bad, because I can just stop and come back to the recording later. Let's see how it goes. These fields I don't feel are enormous either. They're manageable. It could be worse. They could be far, far bigger. I think there are some much bigger fields on here. There was another map, yes. So there's the one that's been released today. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's a European one. Then we've got Calmsden, of course, and then there is another one which I already have downloaded. It's been updated recently to have some different versions of the map included. And that one is like No Man's Land. So it's an empty map, basically. And you can do as you wish. Now, because I did No Man's Land to death, I'm not really sure about that. That one kind of relies on a lot of imagination. And the way I tend to do the map with the series, with things being on hard a lot of the time, or as hard as I can manage, it means maps where there's nothing on there in the first place, they take a long time. When you play on hard mode, or you play with realistic settings as much as you can in Farming Simulator and with no real world farming knowledge, it can be a real challenge if you're not using contracts. So I do rely on the contracts, and maps where there's no pre-built farms obviously have no contracts, so then it becomes quite a difficult task. It becomes even more of a challenge. So I'm not sure that's going to work. At the moment we don't have anything in FS25 that's super realistic. I did do a little show around my farm on TerraLife Plus on FS22. I mean, that's very difficult. If you didn't have contracts on there, I have done I think about 9 months on there before I showed the video, and in those 9 months I've been doing as many contracts as humanly possible to try and get money, because it's going to be very, very difficult with the animals. They require so much. You require a lot of land, a lot of machinery, because you're going to have to get AI workers doing a lot of the stuff, because there's going to be too many fields to do in one, on your own. So yeah, we'll see. At the moment, FS25 doesn't really lend itself to super realistic, but we did just get ourselves about, I missed it, I think it was 12,000 or 15,000. So we can now buy the field. That is now ours. So that is it. We've got our first piece of farmland, and that's going to be it for today. So thank you very, very much everyone for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.